Tom Fahey.
Love you too, Dawn.
I'm one of the Ramblers.
Do you want to listen to
People
the
who don't
Ramblers, or do you
know,
want
the
to
Ramblers are basically a group of guys that went to art with college at Ohio University. We were roommates. It goes a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
deeper
You know
than
what?
that,
It's
but we
all
won't get
being
into all the
videotaped.
details
It'll be
right
on
now.
YouTube, okay?
What I remember most about
Talk
Art
to you later.
is just the
Bye.
things that he loved and the way that he loved them.
I will. Bye.
For instance, first and foremost is his family. I remember the first trip I ever made to Vegas. I ended up staying with Art on that one. And we ended up going to a softball game. And I asked Art, why are we here? And he goes, we're here because there's this really cute girl I want to meet. And of course, that girl was Kathy. And Kathy had over 25 great years. It wasn't enough, but at least you had those, huh? I know he was also proud of Nicole. Nicole, when you graduated from college, I know that made Art very happy. A few years ago, actually, I was out here in Vegas, and unfortunately, Art was busy that day. And you ask him, well, what are you doing? He goes, well, I have to drive Andre to a air guitar contest. And he told me a little bit later on that Andre had won that air guitar contest. And he was very proud of that. So you could just see that he was very proud of his family. There was also a few other things that Art loved. One of them was Ronald Reagan. Now, I never quite understood this, although I like Ronnie too, but just not as much as Art did. But I got to say, through the many discussions we had about Ronald Reagan, I have developed a better appreciation for Ronald Reagan and what a great guy he was and a really good president. So that's nice to see. Art loved sports. I think we all know that, right? And let's see. And he had a special place in his heart for the Steelers, right? Art was very fortunate he grew up in Pittsburgh. It could have been someplace like Cleveland. But Art wasn't your typical kind of Steelers fan, or really your typical football fan. He was never, in your face and your team sucks and that kind of stuff. You could just kind of tell. He was just happy that the Steelers won. He's that kind of guy. And he was very fortunate because the Steelers won an awful lot. So he was fortunate he had the right team. And unfortunately, I've got the Browns. One of his greatest loves was the Rolling Stones. I don't know how it got started with the wait a minute. Oh, I don't know if it got started with the Ramblers. Of course, once you're in with the Ramblers, there's no getting out. I know he also loved the Shadoobies. He took it to the next level with them. Now, I've hung with the Shadoobies. I'm not sure I fully understand or appreciate that. They are great people. I really enjoyed the few times that I have spent with them, and I really love them, and that's what counts, right? Here we go. We're going to have to go with the glasses here. Oh, it's been great to hear some of the other Shadoobie stories. I only have like one. Okay, and Art's name, as we all know, was Raining Blimps. He came by this name from, I believe it was the 2002 Licks tour when he came to San Francisco. We ended up staying on a boat that was right outside Pac Bell Park, and we had a great time. One of the little toys I brought was that blimp right there. And, just throwing it around. I don't know how Art came up with it, but all of a sudden, he was raining blimps from that one. So that's the original raining blimps that Art used. I was also surprised that that blimp lasted long enough, and apparently it's on its last legs now. Shifting gears a little bit, I've been coming to Vegas for a long time, and one of the reasons I still come, is Art and Kathy. Over the years, we've had a great time coming here, and we've done a lot of things that I think probably your typical people don't even know about necessarily coming to Vegas, whether it was the Ethel M tours or going to Lance Burton. Remember being up on stage there, Nicole? Okay.
Yes.
And the Pinball Hall of Fame. I'm not sure how many people have been to the Pinball Hall of Fame here in Vegas. We just were there today, actually. And Art sure did love playing the silver ball. His favorite games were The Wizard and Captain Fantastic. As a matter of fact, just one little story. When we were college roommates, we had a laundromat next door, and there was a Wizard game. Every night after dinner, him and Chris would go over. They only cost $a quarter, and you could win free games. These guys would just play all night long on $1 quarter. I don't think that guy ever made money on that machine. Art was also able to have his dream job for a while. You know, it was great when we'd go out to the ice rink, I think I was only once, and watching him driving that Zamboni machine. I mean, you could just see it on his face. He was really happy when he was behind the wheel of that Zamboni. All right. Oh, the best times were the Stones tours. Since you knew everyone was going to get together for the Stones tours. And Art always took care of the Vegas tours. I think our first Vegas show was the Voodoo Tour in '94. You could tell Art called me up and he was really excited. You know, he had gotten tickets for the show. And you go, okay, that's great. And eventually the price comes along and you go, and he tells me it's like $300 a ticket. You just kind of go, okay, you know, you don't want to burst his bubble, and you just kind of go, uh-oh, man, when I tell my wife we're paying $300, this is not going over too big. And sure enough, it didn't. But we did have a really good time. That was great. And actually, when you think about it, $300 for a ticket really isn't that much when you consider what some of us had paid for tickets to other concerts, right? I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stories to tell about Art, and I'm looking forward to hearing them. But this is the day to celebrate Art and to remember all his unique qualities and his love of life. Thanks.